Hi, thanks for tuning in to SteamboatsMyHome.com video blog. This week's video blog is on what to offer when you found that perfect property. Now, what to offer is very tricky these days. Seeing as it's a buyer's market, a lot of buyers say, well, I'll just lowball and the seller will counter and we'll end up somewhere in between. But there's a fine line. So once you've found that perfect property, what you want to do is figure out what a true fair market value is for that house. So you got to bring up all the solds, all the pendings, and even all the actives and really take a closer look and trying to figure out what the fair market value of that home is. Now keep in mind, the seller and the seller's agent have done the same thing. So if you come up with the same properties, then of course you're going to come up with a fair price and everybody is going to be happy. But a lot of times sellers are sometimes not all that realistic on what their home is worth. Keep in mind, the sellers are very emotionally attached to that home. They have a lot of memories and they don't want to just give it away. So there's a fine line with offering too low and offending the seller, and either one, getting an offer or getting a counter offer at full price, or two, not getting a counter at all. So again, there's a fine line on figuring out where that fair market value is for that house. But a well thought out offer with comparables should produce a counter offer, or at least should produce negotiations and communications between the buyer and the seller. What you don't want to do, you don't want to offend the seller and not establish any communication. So if you come in with good comparables and a low offer not to offend the seller, then the seller will look at those and say, well, you know, I think we're getting close, and at least we'll establish communication. The biggest thing when offering on property these days is you want to keep things open. You want to keep the seller and the buyer's agent communicating, and so that you can go back and forth and come up with a good fair price for that home and hopefully get a sale and get a new home. Thanks for tuning in to SteamboatsMyHome.com video blog, and we'll see you next week.